dramatic finish, Kieran. What's your overall thoughts, please?
Yeah, there was probably two different phases to the game, really. I thought until the point of their goal, thought it was a good performance. I think another step up, which I believe we've sort of had week by week in many departments in the performance. The main thing I'd really criticise us for is we should be 2-0 up, I think, by that point, with the chances and the territory that we're getting being better. Still in our final execution we need to be to really turn, domination and a good performance into goals. And then there was the phase after their goal, which, there's a lot to learn from. It shows how quickly a game in the Championship can turn, especially against some of the more direct teams, because you're only one long ball or a flick on or a bounce of the ball the wrong way away from them having a chance. And from there it was, I've done about 7 interviews now. I'm not sure I have a word for the game from the first goal that they scored until the end of the game. It was probably the most broken, lowest ball in play game that I've been involved in. It was barely a football match, made worse by, for me, a really bad refereeing decision that should have us the opportunity to go 2-1 up. Made worse by us conceding a really poor goal on another long ball that we don't defend well enough, and then by opponent who, again, you can say did well or whatever adjective you want to completely break the game, stop the game. And that there was almost no ball in play time. We weren't able to get any rhythm in the game to build the attacks that we would want to build, and it was really difficult. So we need to learn and do better in that phase, but honestly it was also really difficult. So the big positive from that phase is the fact that we found the equaliser, because I think it's a long time since we've had one of those at Portman Road. For this group, probably the first time. If I say it was obviously the first time for boys who have just arrived, but even players who were here last year. So a late goal that gets us a point on the board with subs involved in the action, I think that could be a big positive for us, and we're going to need more of those as it goes along. So yeah, there was loads in there, to be honest. We've been for a lot in the game today, and the supporters been for a lot. There was a really good performance out there where you can see the growth in the team, you can see the direction of travel, you can see players coming in now having a big impact and the potential for us to really push on. But you can also see the challenges of the division, how hard people are going to make it for us, how we're probably not up to full speed yet to do it for 90 minutes, how we probably don't have the full the consistency and the confidence in the group to really stay strong in that moment when it went against us with the first goal and we really did lose our way. So you can see where we could get to and where we're travelling in many aspects. You can see some of the growth that we still need, and in the end hopefully a really good moment for us.
John Eustace has just said that he was surprised at the amount of stoppage time given at the end, which I'm sure you're going to disagree with given how you just described the end of the match. And he didn't see either the George Hurst simulation, inverted commas, or the Lewis Travis challenge on Jens Keuster. I don't know what your thoughts are on those 3 incidents or topics, please.
I think it's pretty obvious. I'm going to disagree with all of them, but we can all say what we want to say. Again, it felt like the most broken game. I didn't have my stopwatch on, but it felt like the most broken game I've been involved with. That's a big challenge this year. The minutes of ball in play in our game so far has been incredible. First game was 44 minutes. I think on average about 46 minutes at the moment. I think it makes for a really poor spectacle. I don't think it's helping the league. I think it's poor for the league. I understand why it's heading in that direction, and it's much more at the moment than our last time in the division. But I don't think it's. I think it's a real backward step. But it is what it is. It's what we have to overcombat. But yeah, I don't know what the ball in play in the second half will have been, but I think it will have been really low. Most amount of injuries I've ever seen on the pitch without anyone going off injured, without being able to count them. Anyone going off injured, and 60 minutes of added time without VAR probably sums up what the flow was. I thought. George Hurst's was a penalty at the time. I cannot accept that the ref gives that from where he is, from that angle, when you see a defender dive and go to floor and clip at an ankle without a microscope to see how much. But when a striker is at full stretch and knocks it past him, it doesn't need much contact. Any contact in that situation is a penalty, and for me there is contact. And I haven't seen the second one back, but it looked stonewall, honestly, from where I was. But maybe that's an Ipswich lens, but I didn't even think it was was an argument from where I was on the sideline. So everyone can have their piece and say what they want to say.
3 points from a possible 12 at the start of the season. Overriding thoughts on the start, and what are the big things that you're going to be focusing on over this international break?
Yeah, I think, look, whether it was 3 points, 6 points, 5 points, 7 points, it's been a really, really difficult summer in almost every aspect. Certainly by far the most difficult in my time here. And yeah, we come out the back of that period now and we go on to a next chapter. I don't think drastically different if we had 5 points or 6 points. Of course, points are important. We want to win our first game as soon as possible. I feel like we're not far away from that. But we've come through an incredible amount as a club over the course of the summer and as a team over the course of 4 games. We now move on to the next phase. I think by Monday night we'll be in a really strong position in terms of the depth and quality we have in the group. That's not been the case right through the summer, but we'll be there by Monday night. And now we're on to the next challenge, because we have to now bring that group together. We have to keep working hard on the training pitch. It's going to be really difficult to do that over the international break, of course, but we'll work really hard with those that we have. And really importantly, we need to work really hard with a group coming together and building that sort of shared mindset and mental strength and resilience and all those things that you need to be successful in the championship. So it's been an incredibly difficult summer. We got a real big challenge ahead of us. In some ways it's quite exciting because I know there will be expectation on us. I know how difficult it is and how it's going to be, but I really believe that we can still have a really good season. So that's the challenge ahead of us. We're going to take it on full steam ahead, and we'll do what we can over the international duty. But the reality is we're not going to get the group back together until 48 hours before Sheffield United, and then we'll be out there again competing. So it's going to be tough. I think we have most of what we need in the building now to be successful, and it's up to us to do that work and trying to pick up some results in the meantime that keeps giving us the time to do that work.